All right, so it's live streaming. Righty.
Yes, we
We're
are
on,
live.
it says. Yeah. Hi, James. Welcome to the
Hello,
conversation.
Kelly. I know it's way. Hey guys, this is yours truly, the James Cardoza, here with the Kelly Ball. I said your last name right, Bolo, the Kelly Bolo. And today we're going to be discussing the mindset of people, and you know what? How sometimes our mindsets can inhibit us from moving forward and achieving what we want to achieve. How you doing, Kelly?
I'm good. And I fully understand the mindset and how it can either create me to move forward or have me stagnant or send me back to the past, because I've had a lot of growing up. I got bullied, and I've mentioned this before, but my mindset, what I noticed was I was always thinking these people aren't kind. And so, of course, it continued. These people were not kind every day while I was at school. And then I sort of didn't recognize that mind concept until more when I was an adult and I had my young child going to school. And I had done a bit of spiritual and personal development work for about 5 years. And then my daughter was in primary school and she was getting bullied. And then because of what I had understood about mindset, concept, and judgment, even my judgment of these people aren't kind, which may not look like a judgment, but it was a mindset that had me hooked in these people weren't kind. So it continued. So I say judgment because sometimes our judgments continue. You know, when it's discernment, it's a discernment in the moment, but when it becomes a judgment, I've hooked onto the discernment and followed a rabbit hole with my mindset, and it continues. Anyway, so when she was in primary school, she was being bullied, and I knew to take my energy back out of that, like any fear and worry I had behind that, any mindset going on that's not right. These are my thoughts. I was thinking, that's not right. Can't believe they're treating her like that. Like, I was a bit emotional, and I did a little energy healing on it, and I took all those pieces of my mindset back into, this is what I do want. Jesse's just lovable. I took all of my fear out of her, out of the energy of her energy field as a child. And then that afternoon when she crossed the road, the girl that had been bullying her and this young girl were holding hands, coming across the crossing together, laughing, giggling. And I was, okay. And so I knew it had resolved it after a few weeks of bullying. And all because I changed my mindset on what I was thinking, you know, because I went into the fear where I can't protect her as the mother. I'm not at school. I can't go to school and tell the other kids, hey, don't talk to Jessie like that. Like, so I had to value it from me with the energy and shift my mindset into love. And it created instant.
You know, that's an interesting scenario because I think about a lot of children, and they probably go through this, going through the school years and stuff. And I think they develop this mindset of people that are against them. So we start to develop this distrust towards others.
Yes.
And so I think we live in a world of, well, most people live in competition.
Yes.
But
yeah.
like you said, towards the end of the story, when your daughter became friends with who was her bully, they probably saw more in common than they saw in opposition.
Yes. Yeah, and it's perception, isn't it? Like you're saying, collaboration. Like I was talking earlier about collaboration with you. My perception gets disappointed, but basically it's still my perception. Like if I went and talked to the other person, they would have a different story. So my mind hooks onto the perception and goes down a little mindset rabbit hole. And because I then state that they don't want to collaborate with me, I'm already creating it. And I know all this stuff, but I'm human, and I still get disappointed if I see people not really collaborating. But I also know it's an energy thing. And when we shift our perception, it shifts the energy, and then there's a different receiving, a different openness, a different collaboration, a different receiving, basically. Because while we're in the mindset of the other, and these kids aren't kind mindset, or this is not right, I can't protect my daughter, like me energetically push all the energy onto my daughter, she's even more seen because my energy is connected to her. And when I say seen, I mean, I've just put, this is not right, I can't protect her, and she's now sitting in that energy because we're connected. So she's at school sitting in even bigger energy field, which I've put on her. I've thrown it over there with my fear. But when I took it all back into me, owned it, decided on that she's safe, she's valuable, all she's got on her is just pure love. And then that's recognized. And then the other child had no reason to come out with any bullying because there's no energy in it, because she's now sitting in love and value. And so the other child just saw the love and value, and they laughed together because love and value is joy.
That is joy. You know, I think about something, and so for those of you following along, my friend Callie lives in Australia. I live in California. We are soul siblings. We are connected through energy and through the desire to help improve the quality of life for anybody who's willing to allow us to help them. And the question I would ask, well, for you, Callie, since you're the one that I'm communicating with, is let's see this from the perception of source.
Yes.
Let's see this from the perception of creation, the God. Let's say it's 2 billion people. Let's say about 4 billion people believe in God. Okay, you'll wear the jersey of a sports athlete. You'll imagine yourself in their shoes. You'll spend money on movie stars and their movies, and you'll see this from their perspective. We talk about God, but when was the last time you sat and thought to yourself, okay, if I was God, how would I do things? When was the last time you vibrated your thoughts out from the perspective of Creator? Other than the perception of people's perception of the Creator. You know, most of our thoughts about God are not from God's eyes or image, but from people, right? They're all about what we've been taught God is. What do you believe God is? Who do you believe God is? If you created everything, are you really as egotistical or cynical or fearful or judgmental or one-sided as a human? No. Now, the question I would ask you, if you were God and we're on this planet, and there was one place that you could sit down and meditate and manifest man's creation to improve, where on the planet would you meditate?
Well, for me, and exactly what I'm talking about in that source thing, with like you're talking source, what I did and where I would meditate is in the inner sanctum of my heart. Like basically the heart is the portal for everything you're talking about. So and it could be anywhere in our vertical, and you could sit anywhere on the earth. But the day I helped my daughter by taking my power back out was me going back into unconditional love and allowing her to be her pure truth, which is unconditional love. And it allowed the other little girl to be in her truth of unconditional love, because there was nothing else in it. There was no fear in it, no story in it, no perception in it. It went back to pure heart consciousness. And that is the power we all have when we choose to change our mindset and bring it back home to the heart. We could sit anywhere on the earth and do it. We can sit at home. We can sit anywhere and be.
Just for my humor.
Yeah.
Where on this planet would you sit your self
Yeah.
to manifest. If you can think of any place, now this is just an insight to where or what or how you've lived, right?
Yeah.
Understanding. But where would you be physically in a place on this planet to meditate and manifest the world's future in whatever direction you wanted it to be? Where would you be?
Well, right now I would be at home, and I would be at home in my temple where I'm sitting right now, because I've got a special room that I have sacred to me. Other people would be in church, and that's equal to where I'm sitting, because it's all about energy and we're all connected. Other people may be in the Himalayas, and that would be my second choice. I've been to the Himalayas and sat in this amazing place on the, incredible place where I would be sitting right now if I could. And other than that, I'd be in Canada, because I've got to tell you, I love all of that beauty of Canada. It's stunning. So if it wasn't Australia, I'd be in Canada or the Himalayas. But basically, we can't go anywhere. It's COVID. And honestly, we can do it from anywhere. Our home is where our heart is. So wherever my heart is, I can do anything from there if I choose.
And I'd just like to point out real quick that through our discussion, if there's any questions you have behind the reasoning, you can contact me or Kelly, and we'll explain it to you. To keep this video short, we don't want to get too much into detail on why we're doing what we're doing. Just understand that our discussion is about opening your mind to what can hopefully create your true joy, right? Because one of the things that I was brought to aware is that every thought and every action, we should either enjoy it or change what we're doing to something we do enjoy, and quit concerning ourselves too much with the constructs that we believe already to be true, because nothing's true. Now, if all things are equal and we start at ground zero, because a lot of people are struggling, a lot of people are sad, start at ground zero. Erase the mold from your walls, erase the trash, go back to just a place of blankness, like a blank piece of white paper.
Yep.
And create from the start what you want to be the truth. I would explain in this video why that's so valuable, but I'd rather you reach out to one of the two of us afterwards. But we're just going to continue with our discussion over the mindset of people and how valuable what you think can impact every part of your life.
Yeah, it's that valuable. And it's that simple, James, because it was that simple that day with my daughter. That bullying could have gone on for weeks and weeks because I've got no control. But my control came back into me with my powerful mind and my energy field. So no matter what's happening for anyone out in the land of health right now, COVID and everything, we have the only real choice we can control is in us. So bring your power back into you. Choose from your heart. Because just sitting at home in your heart is powerful. Choosing a different mindset when you get up, and before you go to bed, set the intention that when I wake up tomorrow morning, even though I'm at home or I may be alone at home, I may have no family with me, I am going to meet James Cardoza online and have a conversation, and then I am not alone. And I'm not alone in my heart because I'm connected to the universe. So the energy of source. The source will bring the source. So connect.
Now, I'd like to bring something to everybody's attention. And you know who you are out there. And you know the value that you have individually put on the source of life from the womb perspective. There are those of you that believe that life begins at conception, and that from that very point, a living being is beginning to develop and to understand and grow. And there's a heartbeat and there's a human being. And there's value to that potential life, that future life. Now, my friend Kelly here, I'd like to hear you explain more about what you were telling me earlier about your class that you're teaching, if you don't mind, Kelly.
Okay, well, unless we do it another time, because I don't know how long we've been going. But
real quick, just explain what you do.
Okay. Well, I teach women the value of their womb magic, basically. So even though we're about awakening our heart consciousness, when we add our lower body from the waist down fully in its sovereignty, so our womb magic with our heart, us women then can show up as the valuable goddesses we are, and then men can show up as their masculine gods that they are, and we can meet equality. It's the value of both our masculine and feminine. And even me, I have both masculine and feminine, and you do as well. You have a feminine aspect of your nourishment, like the feminine, you were born from your mom, you've got part of your mum lineage in you. So we're just honoring both masculine and feminine in my classes, but via the womb magic. So the classes are for women, they're circle kind of style groups, and then we get to witness and be seen and heard and really own our value. And that's the power of change, when we own our value. So that's the importance of it.
Well, and here's the thing that is so valuable in the discussion that we've had, but an understanding that we are individually here now in the existence of accepting this, what is what is. And there are people that would say that for whatever reason, however, they've been shortchanged through the past or through their parents or through the environment or through culture or through society. But as a woman and your womb, you are giving life. You are in the goddess state of bringing more of God's creations. You now have the power, like I was speaking, to speak from the place of God or creator, to understand that you have a resource, that whatever harm that you may have been or whatever shortcomings you may have fallen to, you can now change that for the future you, for the opportunity to create something free of those mistakes or problems or however struggles you've gone through. They don't have to go through it because there's a resource, and this resource is Kelly. And personally, the future of the world would be a whole lot better if we just started seeing, okay, I must forget my traumas. I must get over it. I must come to some sort of resolvement for the next generation. That next generation is in your womb. And that power and opportunity is not put on anybody else. It's put on you to take the steps and the actions. And if you're not sure how to go about that, like I said, the resources are right here. If you're watching this and you know somebody could benefit from this, my friend Callie can help you.
Yeah, actually, well, we're doing a 3-day challenge, actually, coming up on the 17th, 18th and 19th in the afternoon in Pacific time. So if anyone wants to join in.
$1,000?
No, we're doing a free challenge. This is free for 3 days.
$1,000 seminar for free.
Yeah. So if anyone would love to come along, it will help you to re-tap into your full feminine value. And that does change the world, because the feminine is where we give birth to all projects, all businesses. The energy is in the womb. So,
you know why I said $1,000, Kelly?
Because it's worth way more than that.
It's worth way more than $1,000. You are right. But that's what I paid to listen to Tony Robbins. That's what 100,000 other people paid to listen to Tony Robbins and go, woo, woo. But we're bringing actual science and actual benefits to the lives, not just of the current, but of the future.
Yeah, this is legacy.
It's free. Yeah. If you don't show up to this, I don't want to hear you complain about the problems in the world. If you don't show up to this, I don't want to hear you complain about pro-life, pro-choice. Just keep your opinions to yourself. If you're not making actions, if you're not making active decisions to do something beneficial, that's all I'm saying. Like, take action or shut up. And this is action.
Yeah. Well, it's about taking your power back. And this is the power of the feminine. We take our power back, we're in our body, and we receive. So everything your heart's desiring, your mind is aligned with, you're focused on, by being in the full power of your feminine. The feminine is the creative power and the receiver. So your desires and your receiving. Your body is the vessel.
correct me if I'm wrong. I think when it comes to feminine, masculine energy, I think the feminine is the energy and the masculine is the matter.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
but
So
that
that's
is in the Shiva Shakti energy. So the Shakti energy is the creator energy of the universe, the power of behind the Shiva, which is the matter.
now. Is there any
But it's still
evidence that
conscious. Yeah, sorry.
is there? No, it's okay. Is there any evidence that traumatic situations that a mother has gone through can be passed through her womb to the child?
I'm not right up on all of that kind of stuff, but I imagine it would pass through because everything's energy. So even what you're thinking, any subconscious, unconscious beliefs that have been lineage received would be definitely energetically in your cells. And so I think that's probably a true statement for you, but I don't research all that side of stuff. I'm all about the source energy and realigning. Yeah.
I just want people to rationalize. So I'm trying to relate to what the average. I can't say. So most people aren't going to understand to your level about energy and about source.
Yeah.
So I just want people to understand that. Think about generational wealth. Think about generational trauma. Things do pass on. They pass on from the mindset, and they can pass on through
Yes.
through how a child is brought up, right? So there was always a debate between genetics and social environment.
Yeah.
What's the largest gap in a person's development? So
Yeah.
epigenetics is big right now. That's how we can change our outer genetics
Yes.
into through healthy living. But a big part of that has to do with the mindset. And a lot of our mindset is inherited by our parents. So when a woman or a family begins to think this way from beginning of birth, it
Yeah.
carries on. It carries on into something more than just.
Yeah. And it comes back down to that true value, like true self-worth, self-acceptance, compassion. Like as a 2-year-old, you're not saying to yourself, oh, I've got to value myself and my parents will then value me. But when we get to, because we're too little, but when we get, and then we're only seeing what's being mirrored back to us. But we unconsciously do have that energy field and cells that are filled from the generational. And then when we get to a certain age, we get to discover what's going on in our vibration, our understanding of our unconscious, subconscious, and we get to choose. Because once we get to adult stage, it's then our decision. Now, not everyone chooses to look into that, but to look into that, you've got to be in your body and know thyself. You've got to learn to love, know, and value yourself. And so, and some people come from that already, but probably a lot of the population don't. And so, or don't know the tools to get into knowing, loving, and, fully valuing themselves. They see it on the outside, but they don't know how to work on the inside to create that. And so that's what I help with. I help people to get into their body, get aware, and change their vision and their belief.
That's awesome. It's so interesting because I see society now and I see the direction that it's going. It's neither right nor wrong. It's just a direction.
Yeah.
Now we can choose to believe in a different direction, but I find it interesting to find that so much of the value of women is being discredited.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's the manipulation, right? They're trying to make you believe that, oh, you can determine whoever you want to be, or you can determine this. But they're not bringing the value to what a feminine body, a feminine energy brings to source, to creation. It is a direct portal from God to man.
Exactly. It's not like we're women aren't putting themselves here and men are here. We're talking equality because you're owning your masculine energy and who you are on the earth, and you're a supportive energy for women. You're a beautiful structure of the matter. I'm owning the power behind that and the value of me as the feminine. When I value that, we equally meet. We don't have to compete against each other. There's no competitive needed. I don't have to compete to meet the masculine as a feminine body, as a masculine to win. I meet you as a feminine and we both win.
Well, I love it because that is what it is, right? This is a collaboration, it's a partnership of people. And I believe the reason that we are here as humans is to collaborate and to further create. Why would God go about creating the universe? Why would God go about creating human consciousness? What is your perception for those of you listening? For mine, it is we are a tool for the creator to create more. It is us. We are the tool. We are not just here because we believe. We are here because something happened for a reason. That is to continue to create more of the universe. It's ever expanding. It's ever growing. And that's why God created us, because we are his tool for, and I believe I've heard this once, and it was through our frustration and our combativeness, the vibrations somehow separate into matter, and matter expands beyond that. So feminine and masculine both play a huge role in ever creating more of the universe. So that's my belief, of course.
Yeah, it's always expanding, isn't it? They say the universe is always growing and expanding. Well, that's what we're doing internally. We're a mirror. We're a mirror to the universe. I mean, my picture behind me, when I look out my energy field of my womb, I see the universe. But when I look out of my heart chakra, from the core of my heart, when I'm in my inner sanctum, I see the universe. When I look out of my crown, I see the universe. Like when I was younger, I didn't recognize the power of that. But there is power in that, because we're connected to the universe. We're connected to the earth. We're connected to every person on this planet energetically. And we're connected to the animals, everything. We're connected to the sun and the moon. You know, that's why the cycles affect people. When the moon and the sun and the cycles are, even in the winter, the summer, we're connected. But all I'm talking about is valuing the internal connection. So the outer value is seen and heard. So you experience what you do want. Not what you're experiencing right now is not what you may want, but instead coming home and really valuing it at a new vibration, new connection.
It was, forgive my ignorance, but Neil Armstrong, the first man to walk on the moon. He stated when he went to the moon that he looked back at Earth and he realized how little of everything doesn't matter.
Yeah.
How much of everything doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There are no borders from the moon to the Earth. There are no religions from the moon to the Earth. There are only the perceptions of individuals, which you could not be seen from the moon. You've seen a speck of dust in eternal existence. We have these egos that we believe that we are the center of the universe, but we are merely a tool to continue to create more of the universe. Now, I don't want to get into much of people's beliefs, because I know once you do that, people turn their listening devices off. But just think of it like that. Like, what we're doing is we're offering the opportunity to not only improve your next generation of life, but to improve the whole concept of this planet. We need to change our mindsets, everybody, and it begins with the individual, right? Like we can continue to quote amazing human beings, but unless we're living the words we're quoting, nothing's going to happen. Yeah.
So it definitely comes back to mindset, where we started, and basically just getting aware of our mindset. And you can't do that if you're not fully home in your body. Like, you mentioned drugs before, and you know how sometimes that takes you into a different part of the mind. And so like subtle things, like we were talking about sex before, and that also can become an addiction eventually for some, not everyone. And so the thing is that even takes you out of your full body ownership. like it takes you out of your heart. So you're not congruent with all parts of the body. If you become addicted to sex, you're sort of more from the waist down and not from including the heart consciousness in that. Because like I said, with my daughter bullying, with her coming back home to her heart, and I came home to my heart and my fear went out of my mind. So then that all that was between all three of us, the other child as well, was unconditional love, and that's valuable. So if we're cut off at the waist down and we're only using from the waist down in our approach of our addiction, then our heart has come disconnected enough that we emotionally aren't connected internally to that energy, and that really makes a big difference. So our mind might be connected to our womb, but not our heart. So we want all centers connected. We want to be vertically connected, and that connects us to source, and that's where the true compassion and equality and joy and living lives.
That's huge. You know, because what it does is we're turning to the immediate gratification, because it reassess our survival instinct of now while I can. But if you think about stepping back into that God mode, that God state of thinking of creation, and you think about how old let's imagine this for 1 second. How old can you even fathom the universe being? Think about how patient God had to be for us to be to this place right here.
Exactly.
Now you somehow want to have everything immediately, right? You want a better world, but you're not willing to lay the foundation for future generations to be better.
Yeah. So yeah, everyone's at a different level of consciousness, awakening, vibration, belief, family up, the family lineage beliefs. We're all so different and unique. So
Well,
there's not one.
I wasn't talking to you, Kelly. I'm talking to the people that I know are listening, because I can feel their energy right now.
Yeah,
And
I know.
there's a lot of angry people that just seem to think that this world is coming to an end. And instead of resolving some of the issues that they help cause through their lack of collaborative and competitive mindsets, and understanding that they can today turn us in a whole new direction, that in 100 years, it could be better. But because they're not thinking from a God state, they're thinking from a survival state. Well, I won't be around, so what does it matter? Imagine if God thought that way, where would we be today? Come on, people. You worship the man, being. Imagine you could think like him, right? Quit thinking inferior.
That'd be incredible. Because, sorry, none of us are perfect, like there is no perfection.
Because there's no judgment. All scales or all measurements are created, so all things are perfect.
Yeah.
The idea that we're not perfect is the idea of one. Well, I'm not getting. If you want more details information, you can ask us.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you for the conversation. I appreciate it. And thank you for letting me share.
No, my pleasure, Kelly. And for all of you who have any questions, particularly women, you can contact either one of us. If you contact me, I'll direct you to Kelly. But we're going to let you go. I'm going to jump off live, and you'll have an amazing